This is the Sog Powerpint, and I have tested this for quite a while, and I want to share my experiences with this. First up, I gotta say there is not a lot of competition since the Leatherman shoes got deleted off the planet. And yeah, you have a couple of inexpensive, not as well known Chinese Amazon tools that would be in the same size range, but they don't offer the capabilities that this one does. Now, let's talk about these capabilities and let's have a look whether they actually make sense or not. First up, I gotta say, this tool is finished beautifully. I really enjoy that stone wash, and I think a lot of people like the visuals of this one. I think Sog is pretty good with designing a cool looking multi-tool. Second of all, I like the form factor. It's very carryable, 4 ounces, 117 grams. Feels a lot lighter in pocket than that. The only thing that you have to take care of when you put it in pocket, you can see the clip is angled, so it means it wants to go in the right side front pocket or left side back pocket, because if you carry it in the left side front pocket or right side back pocket, the tool might actually open up. So make sure you have this pressed against the corners of your pocket or some other object like your phone, I don't know. But just be aware that this can happen, right? So other than that, I really like the clip. I think it works quite well. There is also a keyring tag. Tab, can't even speak. Most people don't even know that this one is on there, I think. And yeah, all the tools are on the outside, which is very good for accessibility. Then of course you get the bit holder. Oops. Now the magnet that is in here is not the strongest, so make sure to hold it tight, but as a matter of fact, this holds in quite well right now. But yeah, it's center line. That is of course good. The size of the tool is an issue here with the, the thing you can apply. Like, you can only apply so much pressure here because of the size. So the question here is, this design is obviously very cool, but where do you put the bit? Because you don't have a sheath. So you can put them loosely in your pocket. You can get one of these, right? One of these bit holders. They are very inexpensive, by the way. And put it in your pocket like so. But quite honestly, if I always have to go back to my workshop or to the house to get a bit, I might as well, get a bit driver system with multiple bits in here. Quite honestly, I will probably prefer this over having loose bits in my pocket. That's just how it is. So cool idea. The question is it that usable? I don't know. The thing with this tiny multi-tool is of course that it lacks leverage from handle length. So they have this really cool compound system, which I do like. I think it should be on more multi-tools. It's a cool system, very simple. It just has a couple of gears that aid in the leverage. However, I will say, practically speaking, this is still a tiny multi-tool and you can only apply so much leverage here, right? So this helps for sure, but does it help that much? Probably not. You can see you can open the pliers much wider than, let's say, on a Victorinox or on any Leatherman. The question here is, of course, if you have to work on something this wide, can you apply enough leverage? So quite honestly, I would get a Knipex for that, for things that are this wide, because these work a lot better. I couldn't find my small Knipex for the sake of this video, but you get the idea, right? Get a small Knipex and you will be probably happier to undo things that are this wide. So the pliers are only for smaller tasks. They are not full-size pliers, but they're pretty close. They have a needle point, so pulling out splinters, definitely possible. Other than that, I like the grippiness of the pliers. I think they work well. The wire cutters, usually wire cutters should have a second angle for multiple thicknesses, and so you can apply more pressure here. So these are just for thin wire. Just be aware of that. You have a wire stripper down here. That's nice, okay. But again, not enough space to work, so just little space to work with. you get the angle measuring system right here, but these are not perfectly straight. And if you do it like this, like the pliers are in the way, and like this, the bit holder is in the way. So for drawing, it's not perfect, just for a quick measurement. You also get the inches and centimeter ruling system. However, these are somewhat accurate, but not totally. The 1 centimeter right here is off. So 1 centimeter should be from here to here, not from here to the corners. Focus camera. So the ruling system, yeah, it's somewhat accurate, but the issue here is if I place it down, it does this, and if I place it like this, it's also gonna tilt. So yeah, I don't like ruling systems on most multi-tools. I think the only multi-tool where it really works is the Swiss tool, right? That's a ruling system with which you can work with. But quite honestly, you're gonna get a real ruler because it's just annoying. So yeah, the measuring system it's a nice detail, but it doesn't work, quite honestly, practically speaking. So let's talk about the tools on the outside, because I think we covered everything else. Oh, by the way, the locking system is a backlock system. So if I open the blade, I have to open the tool to close the blade. Getting these out is a little bit fiddling. So let's say if I want to get out the all, I cannot press on this tab back here. I cannot get in here. It's easier to get all of them out to get this one. So if I don't want to open it to unlock it, I can just pull one of the other tools out, and then the backlock automatically unlocks. The backlock, by the way, is very strong. I think all of these tools lock up securely. The blades are one-handed deployable. I would say they're probably going to be two-handed. It's going to be a two-handed closure. That's just what it is. Most of the times I use two hands for these anyway, because it's like very tight and everything is very small. So let's speak about the tools on here. And let's talk about what a multi-tool, in my opinion, in my honest opinion, should be able to do. So if I had to break it down, what the multi-tool should be capable of, I think it's a scrape, strip, screw, pry, lift, pull, pierce, and separate. Let's start off with separate. We get the blades. We get two different blades. We get scissors, and we get a hook cutter. So, yeah, these. So the two blades, we have a serrated sheep's foot blade, which is a little bit thicker, also thicker in grind, and then we get a thinner ground, straight edge Wharncliffe. The steel on all of these tools in here is 5CR 15 MOV. That's kind of a steel that is designed to be treated at a lower hardness, and it's good for mass production stainless steel. So all of these steels on here, all of these tools on here, they are going to be a little bit softer. You just have to know that. It's a $40 multi-tool. Of course it's going to be soft, right? So some people complain that the Wharncliffe is a little bit too flexible, it's a little bit too soft. I kind of like it because it's in a thin geometry and it cuts very aggressively. So if you have a soft steel, at least make the shape of the tool very aggressively. So it cuts by its shape, not by its steel. So this blade I like, this one I don't. The serrated edge on here would be tremendous, especially with that thinner geometry. Then you could get rid of the secondary blade. You don't need two blades in a multi-tool this tiny. It's not necessary. The hook cutter is fantastic in my opinion. I would never use it for my car, right? I would never use it for a seat belt in a bad situation, but I found that it is very capable of cutting these thin wires for gardening. So this is gardening wire that you would use on plants or around plants, and it cuts these wires tremendously well. So really, really good. Okay, you get the idea, but it works really well. There is no chipping or rolling damage, so the edge is decently tough on here, so I do like this tool. But then we get to the scissors, and the scissors are kind of bad, to be honest. These are lefty's scissors, by the way. So what's the difference between a righty scissor? A righty scissor is the tab is on the left side, and a lefty scissor, the tab is on the right side. So like this. lefties, righties. If you use it with your right hand, the scissor will automatically be less effective, right? But the good thing here, or the bad thing here, is it doesn't matter because it is ineffective both with left or right hand use. So, horrible scissor, the worst scissor I've ever seen. Comparison to the Leatherman Charge scissor, right? This one cuts. That's a normal scissor. This one, this tiny squirt scissor, much better, right? So you get the idea. This scissor is unfreaking usable. It's very, very slow and very dull. Not that great. Let's talk about screwing things in. So we talked about this. Cool idea if you have your bits with you. If you don't have bits with you, you have the option of these tools right here. So you get a bottle opener with a flathead, but that flathead has a tip. The tip makes it unusable as a flathead. So don't like this tool. I don't need a bottle opener on a multi-tool unless I have extra space, and I especially don't need a flathead with that tip. I'm not sure why on a couple of these tools they have those tips. I think the reason for that is that there's another one where the tip is also on, is it this one? Yeah, it's this one. So I think the reason for those tips is that when they cut it out by machine, they should normally grind it away later, but I somewhat forgot about that, and I think that's my theory at least, that they forgot about grinding off these tips. But these tips make the flathead unusable. So this tool, not great. Here you get a flat Phillips that's super tiny and thin. I'm not sure which screw this is ever going to fit in. This has to be a very specific screw to fit in, so this is not good. Then you get this flathead, which is tiny, too small for most screws. Screws on your glasses maybe, but it might even be slightly too big for your glasses, depending on your glasses. So again, very, very much not that usable. The nail puller that I just showed you also has the weird tips, and then it has a can opener which is very blunt and dull, and then the nail puller is very thin, and again the soft 5015 MOV steel. So this is gonna bend and break pretty soon if you use this. So I never use this because I don't trust it. I don't want to pull nails with this. I don't have the leverage with this tool, and I don't have the steel material strength behind it. I do like the file, quite honestly. I think the file is good. I'm glad they didn't use a saw because it lacks the pull. So wood and metal file, yes, of course, good idea. Soft steel, so you're only going to be able to work on soft materials. So conclusion. There are 3 tools in here. Overall, I think there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are like 10 tools in here, right? On the outside at least. And I only like 3 of them. The straight edge one cliff, the hook cutter, and the file. These are all good. Especially for the price, these are all good. I love the clip, I love the stonewash finish, I love this thing right here, and I do like the pliers for the most part, right? These tools, the reason these tools are designed the way they are designed are to fit around the pliers. Oh, I forgot to talk about the awl. The awl is also, you can perfectly see it here, the awl is shaped so it can fit around that plier head, right? The annoying thing here is that a good file, in my opinion, a good awl, I should say, in my opinion, should be looking somewhat like this. So pointier, sharper, more cutting edge. This has a small stubby cutting edge, more like a Kiridashi. So it would be good for scraping, but for scraping it's a little bit too small. So not a great awl. Don't like this at all. Kind of a, you get it, kind of a joke. So yeah, bad awl. So there are only 3 tools that I like on the outside here. Funnily enough, they're all on the same side, and the other tools are not that usable. But it's tiny, it's easy to carry, it's somewhat likable, easily likable because it feels nice and it looks good. And yeah, it has a cool appearance. It's somewhat gimmicky, of course. Yeah, it's not a real like multi-tool. Every multi-tool is a compromise for sure, and mini multi-tools are especially a compromise. So my favorite multi-tool, for instance, is the Swiss tool Spirit. Every tool, I opened these up, every tool on the outside is usable and functional and works really good. You get three-dimensional Phillips, you get real flatheads, you get real scraping and prying tools. They are thick enough to pry with. You get a real blade and a real scissor and a real awl and a real file. Everything on here is of course, because of the price, a compromise between like production capabilities and putting out a cheap tool. And yeah, that's what you get here. You get an inexpensive tool. So don't expect the best tool. And if you don't expect that, I think you will be fine. I think this is cool. This is a cool gift. This is a cool gimmicky tool. This is a fun tool to play with. I have used it and I somewhat like it for some reason because it's carryable and it's small and it's cute. It's just not the best multi-tool, right? That's just what it is. So yeah, I guess for everybody there is something, and the multi-tool world is very small and there is not a lot of options, to be honest. And yeah, this is probably still the best mini multi-tool option there is, even though it's not the best.